What's up guys, I'm Noob Genesis, bringing you another class guide setup video. I've not done one of these in fucking ages, but seeing as there is a new patch out there completely gave the DSR the dick, it seems this is very necessary to do. And in saying that, I am going to be doing this with the Ballista. Let's get straight into this actually. Custom class, alrighty. I'm doing this in bots because I might actually play a little bit after that just to show you it off. Anyway, as you guys know, if you have read the patch notes, both the DSR and the Ballista got nerfed. However, I have Dignity, so I am not going to be equipping the XPR. I'm just kidding, guys. The XPR is a good choice, obviously, but I still find it's got the Black Ops 1 effect where you aim down sight and it's not actually aimed where it's supposed to be. But so that's just me. Now, the thing you need to know with the patch, the DSR got fucked in the ass. It is completely fucked when it comes to feeding. You can get kills with it just the same as you always can. You can one-shot people in the stomach, all good. But getting repeated amount of kills is a bitch. It is incredibly slow, and quite frankly, if you're going for feeds, it's almost not worth using. I always said they needed to patch the DSR because it was overpowered purely, but I just meant get rid of that one shot to the stomach. They decided to neuter this gun. Is it balanced? I don't really know, don't really care. That's for other people to decide, not me. Personally, I don't really care. It is my favorite gun, but not anymore. So I'm going to be using the Ballista in this. The Ballista did get a nerf, but it is completely manageable. It is a lot more like the DSR in terms of rate of fire, how the DSR was, sorry. Get it as it's a lot like the rate of fires that you will find in Black Ops 1, but I don't know. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be using the Ballista because it's still a viable option. And first up, we have attachments. Now, as we know, it is going to be crucial to make sure you land your shots. If you are not landing your shots, your time to kill is going to be incredibly slow because it's almost twice as slow if you miss that shot pretty much, because you're going to have to recock the bullet and twice as long recocking time. You're going to be fucked. But anyway, that means I'm going to be putting on the ballistic CPU because, well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, you don't want to be missing your shot. And the ballistic CPU, a lot of people don't use it. I didn't use it for quite some time, and I got no problem not using it. However, looking at the other choices, I don't really see anything better than the ballistic CPU, purely for the fact that missing a shot is going to be huge to you, like a huge disadvantage for you. So I always want to make sure the shot hits, and the ballistic CPU will help that, even if it's only a slight bit. I think it's worth it. Next up, we are going to be using a second attachment, and that one is FMJ. The reason I'm using FMJ instead of fast mag and extended clip is the slower fire rate again. We are not going to be wasting as many bullets because we are either going to be dead or we're going to be landing those crucial shots. That's the only thing that's going to happen. There is not going to be any of this, oh, I shot 6 bullets, I got 2 kills out of maybe 3 kills. Now I'll just reload and get these other ones over there. No, you miss those shots in between, you're dead. You are not going to be doing well if you're missing shots now. So I don't think fast mag is necessary or extended clip because if you need them, you're probably going to be dead, meaning you're going to respawn with a full clip anyway. So I'm going with FMJ because, again, the others aren't really that useful, like the suppressor, the laser sight, all them, they're not very useful. If you're going to use the dual band, obviously you use the dual band for a reason. Same with the iron sight and the ACOG. But for a normal feeding class, I'm going with the FMJ. Next up, we have perks, and another thing they did is they changed the aim down sight speed after sprinting, and they also changed it so when you go from aim down sight to sprinting, it's also slower. What that means is sprinting is a no-no. Now, really good snipers, like FaZe Pamage pushes this out across to everyone constantly. He always tells people, sprinting is the enemy. It is really bad because you have to take so damn long to aim down sight after sprinting before the patch. Now the patches come in, it's even more important not to sprint. You should be walking around corners. You should be walking as much as possible or sprinting in very small bursts. This takes a bit of practice, but it is well worth it. And in saying that, lightweight is useless. Or sorry, it's not useless, it's a bad thing. If you are spending more time sprinting, you are going to get hurt more often. Now, I don't know. Lightweight, I think, does work if you are just walking. I still don't think it's that useful. You can chuck it on if you want. But compared to the other stuff, I think it's probably the worst choice. Hardline is not really for feeding. It's for getting gameplays or just getting streaks in general. That's not really necessary. The only thing it does for feeding is if you've got Guardians or UAVs, you want to get it quicker. Not important. Blind Eye, you should never put this on a normal class. You should only put this on a Blind Eye class. Something that's specifically meant to be pulled out if there is a chopper in the air or something. Which leaves us with the last two, Flak Jacket and Ghost. You got Flak Jacket, which is just amazing because, well, honestly, for a perk, it's pretty overpowered. It does a lot of damage reduction, especially considering things like MW3's Blast Shield, which was borderline useless. Other than the things that you get in this game, like C4 is still overpowered as fuck. Like, it is probably the most overpowered thing in this game, in my opinion. And it is completely fucked. Living without Flak Jacket is a bitch. So I'm going to be using Flak Jacket. Your other viable choice is Ghost. However, I have a rule personally that I never use Ghost because it's one of those big moral things. Everyone knows why. Everyone knows why people dislike it. Everyone knows why people like it. I'm on that side of the fence where I disagree with Ghost even being put into the game because I think it slows down gameplay and I think it's really cheap. That is purely me. If you have no problem using Ghost, go for your life. You're a dick. I'm kidding. That's your choice. It's just me. I won't use Ghost, but it is a very good option. It's up to you, or you could do both of them if you wanted to, but me, I'm just going with Flak Jacket. Next up, we have Perk 2, and again, we're going to put on Toughness because we do not want to be missing those shots. When we get hit, we want to land our shot and finish the fight, because if we miss that shot due to flinch, we cannot win the gunfight. If they're shooting at us and we're shooting at them, and we miss that shot, we have to wait forever to be able to shoot a second shot, we're dead. So Toughness is a must at the moment, in my opinion. If you're using Ghost, you might be able to get away with it because you'll be flanking a lot, or should be flanking a lot, but if not, you're definitely going to want Toughness. Next up, I am going to be chucking on Tactical Mask. The reason for this is Dexterity. The main reason I used to use Dexterity is to get that aim faster after sprinting. Now, while that is going to help even more than it used to, it is still going to be slower than it used to. And quite frankly, that is bad. You do not want to have to put yourself in a position where you have to aim down sight slower. You should not be sprinting. And the more you practice not sprinting, the easier it's going to be for you. And you can chuck it on if you want. It will help a lot. But in the long run, you'll become a much better sniper if you don't sprint. Or at least if you sprint a lot less. And in terms of that, Dexterity and Extreme Conditioning get dragged straight out of this option. Because I don't think it's worth it at all. Unless you purely want that mantle and climb faster. But I don't think that's worth it when you're going for feeds. Next up, you have Engineer. This more has a specific role, just like Blind Eye does. You can use it if you want to. I don't see the point in it. Dead Silence and Awareness. In this game, they're pretty shit. Let's just throw it out there. They're pretty shit in Black Ops 2. Sound whoring is not a big deal. You can get away with not using them at all. Awareness. I've got Astro A40s. I'm wearing them right now. I'm recording with them. And quite frankly, Awareness does dick. It is pretty fucking shit. You can hear people. I'm not going to lie. You can hear people. But it's so bad. Like, it's not so bad, but it's not good enough to be worth using. Especially compared to Tac Mask, because as you know, Tac Mask is amazing. Those shock charges are a pain in the ass. Concussions and flashbangs, you do not want to be missing your shots. This is what this build is all about. You do not want to be missing your shots, and we are definitely going to want Tac Mask for that. So that leaves us with 4 points left. Next up is the all-important, the sexiest thing on this entire game, the mini Game Boy. We must have it. It is just too amazing to pass up when you're going for feeds. You want to be in their face at all times. You want to be at their spawn at all times. You need the tactical insert. Anyway, that's just obvious. I'm not even going to get into why you don't use the others because I've done that in a previous video and that hasn't changed. Next thing we're going to be doing is, of course, using a perk greed. You cannot live with that perk greed in this game. You probably could, but I think you're insane. I'm going with perk 2 greed. Now, this is an optional one. Cold-blooded, I don't see the point in. It's just, it should be with the Blind Eye class. You don't need it for anything else. That leaves Fast Hands, Hardwired, and Scavenger. If you run out of ammo or you need Scavenger with a sniper rifle after this patch, either you are spamming at a wall or you are an incredibly good player because you should not be able to run out of sniper bullets before dying in this game. You will die many times when using a sniper rifle, when going for feeds, especially when you're up in their face, and even more so after this patch. You do not need Scavenger. If you're using things like C4, you're a bitch, but Scavenger is obviously a good choice. That's up to you. Me, I'm going to either be using Hardwired or Fast Hands. It's purely up to you. Me, I love placing my attack very fast and getting back in their face straight away, so I like Fast Hands. However, I have been using Hardwired and Fast Hands a lot before the patch, or back when I was still playing, before I returned to Black Ops 2. I was using Hardwired and Fast Hands and not Toughness. Now I have to choose. Me, I'm going to be choosing Hardwired over Fast Hands. It is a personal, I guess a pet peeve or whatever you want to call it, that I use Fast Hands because I think the attack plays too slow. That's just me, but it's something that you can get used to. EMPs are a fucking prick, especially when you're feeding. Not only do they ruin the kill feed, but for some fucked up reason, they make you run slower. An electromagnetic pulse is not going to make you run slower. What the hell, Treyarch? I really like that. Pisses me off more than many other things in this game. Just that tiny little thing. It actually makes you run slow. It also, I think it shakes your screen the tiniest bit. It makes your screen go white for a second or whatever, similar to a flashbang or whatever. It just makes your screen you can't see. It's going to make you miss shots. With the latest patch, that's very important, as mentioned already. So I'm going to be using this class right here. And that's it. Obviously, you got 1.3. You can either chuck on a pistol or any kind of secondary, or you can chuck on a lethal thing. Up to you what you do. I don't really like using pistols, as I've got another video about that. You can go check that out. That's just me. Of course, it's a good choice, especially if you go fast hands as well. You can switch out many things, but this is my recommended class setup guide. And when it comes to lethals, I don't like them. I don't like them at all. I really don't. Combat axe is shit without fast hands. C4 is for bitches, honestly. It's just so damn overpowered. Bouncing Betties don't even get me started. And Claymores no one ever uses. Semtex and grenades, if you're an objective player, good for you. You should chuck them on. They're pretty good. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. I guess I'm not going to play an actual game because this went for 11 minutes. It's a bit longer than I intended. But either way, hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something new, and always remember, this is my class setup guide. You should change it to suit your playstyle. This is just recommended for after the patch. Change it up to help you. You only want to do what makes you a better player. This is just a suggestion. Anyway, hope to leave you with that, and have fun, guys. Whatever, I'm out.